Hello, gang. It's Azseth. I'm gonna do a personal video of sorts. I just did a video with about Trey Gowdy, and that was amazing for me personally. And the second part, I guess, not second half, but the later part, the closing part of his speech that he gave was super insightful. I'm gonna play it and then talk a little bit about it, because he says it a lot better than I probably would. So hold on one second. Here we go.
I don't even know him. You know what I think about when I fly into Reagan? I think about a guy you've never heard of. You've never heard of him. I was about your age. I was exactly your age. Watching television with my father. February, in the throes of a terribly frigid winter in Washington, and a plane crashes into the 14th Street Bridge. And all the passengers except a half dozen were killed on impact, and those half dozen were in the icy waters of the Potomac River. And I'm watching this on television with my dad. This is before 24-hour news, but it was captivating the country. So you got these people in the icy waters of the Potomac, and you got the whir of a helicopter coming. And that helicopter lowers a rope ladder into the waters of the Potomac, and it falls into the hands of a man you've never heard of before. If I called his name right now, you don't know him. So he has life in his hands, and he passes it to a stranger. And that person is hoisted to safety, and the helicopter takes her away, and it comes back, and the same scene repeats itself 4 more times. And every time, he's got his hands on a rope ladder. He is this close to saving his life. And every single time, he passes it to a stranger. Not his wife, not his daughter, not his best friend, a stranger. And when the helicopter came back for him, he had succumbed to fatigue and drowned. His name was Arland Williams. I'm not asking you to be Reagan. I'm not asking you to be Lincoln. I'm just asking you to live a quiet life of conviction and virtue and actually live out what you profess to believe. And if you can do that, you'll be a leader, you'll be persuasive in your generation.
So I just thought that was interesting way to end his speech. Interesting in a positive way. I get kind of teared up thinking about that. But one interesting thing is, I'm gonna post an article. It's in depth, but it talks about a couple things specifically. The science of self-sacrifice is one of the paragraph headings, and this is interesting. The survival of the selfish. So it talks about first the event, then it talks about certain sciences, but it's talking about how, in short, doing something like that defies common sense, logic, self-preservation, basically all the things that make us human and make us successful humans. Being heroic flies in the face of that, in stark, blatant contradiction to that. Because generally speaking, it's easy for you to save your brother, your sister, your child, and your mom. But to do something like that for a stranger, again, it flies in the face of all human rationale. Which they specifically and interestingly enough talk about, part of like the military, and why part of the indoctrination into the military is the idea of brotherhood and it being a family, because you know, again, talking about human nature and logic, if I'm in a firefight and there's some guy who I have no value or kinship with, I may not be willing to jump on that grenade for him and the guys behind him. Whereas if that's my brother, there's no thought to it. Just a very interesting article, very interesting story. I'd never heard of that at all before, so it's um, just a very eye-opening thing. I'm gonna put the video below, and I hope that you all enjoyed that little story and got something from it. So I hope that you'll have a great day, and go easy, gang.